Hey.
Hey,
Ah, very, very interesting day. How about you?
yeah. It's time to exhale, and talk about what's going on.
Yeah, I know. All right.
You
Let's
ready?
get gear up. I'm ready. You ready?
Ready.
Ready. Oh, wow. Hey, it's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. It's Tuesday.
Um,
Thankfully.
yeah, I'm very grateful for it being Tuesday. And man, oh man. You know what? I will say this. Let's take care of the business first because we're here
Okay.
on Interludes Extra Talk on Tuesdays. And today our talk on Tuesdays is being brought to you by our new sponsor, Booked and Busy Bookkeeping Services LLC, dedicated to
LLC.
keeping you booked while you're busy running your business.
Wow. Yeah, I almost
allow
got
their
booked earlier this week.
allow their years of experience to bring you the small business owner the financial peace of mind. Contact them at 862-251-8503 or go to bookedandbusybookkeeping.com. And I'll ask Kevin to go ahead and place in the chat, Mr. Springer. It is so good to see you. And of course, we're
Kevin,
going
Kevin,
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 Kevin.
Kevin.
And we're going to ask early. Go ahead. If you like the video, go ahead and give us a like and a
Smash,
subscribe.
smash,
Smash the like button and subscribe to us on our
smash that like
YouTube
button.
channel.
Smash the
But,
like button.
but go ahead and give us a shout in the chat. Let us know where you're viewing us from because we are also streaming in our Facebook Interludes group as well as LinkedIn. And we are on Roku. Woohoo!
Roku.
Roku. I like to always say hello to Mr. Springer, our moderator, and
Yes.
the YouTube chat. And let's say hello to our audience. Come on, guys. Let's give us a shout. Who's there? Okay, there
Hi,
you go. It's Mr.
audience.
Springer. It's hello, Michael
Hello,
and Valley
hello,
Boy.
hello,
Hello.
good sir. Yes. Yeah, yeah, sir. Hello,
That's
hello.
all good. And of course, my guy Bruce. Good evening,
Right.
people. How y'all doing? Woohoo!
Yeah. Good evening. Good evening,
That
Mr.
is
Smith.
that that is what's up. Now, Mr. Springer and I, well, I'll say it like this. Mr. Springer is in a section of Brooklyn that I used to live in, and I was there for 18 years. And I'm just going to go ahead and make mention.
Very
Unfortunately,
love Brooklyn.
yeah, in Sunset Park this morning in Brooklyn, there was a shooting that happened where at least unfortunately 29 people were shot and some were injured when a lone gunman in a reflective vest and a gas mask threw some smoke bombs on a subway car and started shooting. And this happened this morning. And I literally just got off of a prayer call in Brooklyn. I'm literally, my hearts and our prayers are going out to the people that were affected by this. The reason why I'm mentioning this, the train that this happened on was the N train, and the NNER train is what got me to my home back and forth for 18 years. And I'm feeling some kind of way. I'm feeling some kind of way. I got love for NYC, and we just gonna pray. I'm grateful. There was no one that passed away or anyone that died, but Michael taking public transportation. That's the way of New York. That's how we do it in New York. You know.
So we do it worldwide. That's how we do it in the city. I mean,
Hmm.
if you can, if I no stranger to public transportation at all whatsoever. I mean, I don't know why New York's trying to compete with Chicago. That's our thing. We shoot people here. I don't know why y'all trying to shoot people out there. You need to
Yeah.
like chill. You need to calm down. I thought you had a police chief, mayor. You're supposed to be holding this down, right?
Right. And then keep in mind that the mayor of New York has switched over. It's now a different mayor than
Oh no,
before.
I'm aware of it. The new mayor is a former police officer. He's supposed to be bringing
Ah,
law and order to the city, right? I
yeah.
know he has COVID. I mean, I understand he just recently contracted COVID, and it may have slowed him down a little bit. But he's supposed to be like regulating the city again. That's why they elected him, isn't it?
Yeah, they did. They did. And like I said, I will say this. It is I I don't remember a lot of shootings happening in the subway system. It was just a safe way to go. There's 26 lines in New York, and this was at a very popular hub that services the D. Oh, good Lord. The D, the B, the R, and the N train. And
Okay.
they go to Coney Island, Bay Ridge. That happened in Sunset Park. A good
Okay.
friend of mine who actually works for MTA. I can't say CTA. CTA is Chicago, but MTA. Their one of their garages or headquarters is literally down the street from where this happened. So, thoughts and prayers are going out to my entire church family in Brooklyn, throughout the entire 5 boroughs. You know, I got love for you. I'm on the south side of Chicago, but good gracious, I'm a little disturbed by everything that's happened. There
Okay.
it is. Mm-hmm.
Mayor
Oh, he's going to
Adams.
double the
Yeah.
amount. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Brooklyn, stand up. That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Brooklyn,
And we
stand up.
are sending you love. We're sending you love out to NYC. Usually I would crack on New York. You know that, Val. I love this in New York because they deserve it. But I mean, a day like today, I mean, it's a sad day to see something like that happen to people just trying to like get by, live their lives. For so long we were kind of stuck inside, and now the idea that some of these ridiculous things have come about. There's a shooting there. There have been, because I make note of it, there have been school shootings since the lockdowns have eased and restrictions have eased. And it's scary. I mean, I hope that people would have been reflective during their time inside, but I mean, beyond thoughts and prayers, I hope that people take action and make these incidents more difficult than they can be. It's easy to get political with it. I am no stranger to that, and I ain't got no problem with that. I know that our current president was talking recently about trying to crack down on ghost guns.
Oh
I
yeah.
know that in the Chicago mayor here was talking about it as well, and I know that maybe it comes from Mayor Adams. Maybe people will trust and believe it since they know that he does represent both the people and the police. Um, and I hope that things like this they shouldn't happen. There's no need for them to happen, right? There's no need for this. It's frustrating and it's sad, and it makes at times you feel helpless, right?
Right.
But
And
we're not helpless.
I think the time is a little interesting because for a lot of folks, this is Holy Week. And for many people that are Christians like myself, we are celebrating. We're
Me
thinking
too.
about we're thinking about the cross. We're thinking about Good Friday. And then of course the benefit of Holy Week is many folks are off from school. Some people are off from work. Some people have gone on spring vacations. So it's just, I find this weirdness happening in Brooklyn a very interesting time to take everybody's eyes off the ball. Plus, we have, unfortunately, the war still going on in Ukraine. So just
This is
Satan
truly a time. I mean, I
busy.
know it's cliche, and I understand the cliche part of it, but actually, this week is a time for thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, and
So,
Mr. Springer
action
has
is
just
great, but
informed
thoughts
us
and
that,
prayers important.
yeah, he just informed us that the lieutenant governor to Governor Kathy resigned. Uh-oh.
Really, Kathy Hochul, New
Oh,
York governor. Really?
Okay.
That's
Pretty
very,
serious. Okay.
very
I will.
interesting.
Well, I'm just going to echo the same thing that Bruce said. Like I said, we're here in the Midwest. Bruce and I, all of us go to the same church in different cities and different boroughs, but we just want to go ahead and send prayers up to everyone. And like I said, I just wanted to mention it because this was something that happened this morning, and then I was pulled to a prayer call, and I was like, let me just mention it, and then I'm gonna keep it moving. But now it's time to talk about some fun stuff. If we could do that, if we could transition
What's the fun stuff? What's the fun stuff you want to talk about?
Let's get into it. You've been tapping my shoulder to watch a particular show called Atlanta.
Okay, that's the fun. Atlanta's the fun stuff. Yeah, you must not have been watching it because you think that's a break from reality. Wow, used to be maybe. Oh, well, I guess there's a reason that you might have a new lieutenant governor in New York. Whoa.
Oh wow! I didn't know that,
Oh,
Mr. Springer.
back to the good old days. Ooh, New York Democratic politics. So can't beat it.
No.
Woo-hoo.
All right, Atlanta on
Atlanta,
FX.
another city
Yes.
that's like
Another city. We're gonna go to another city.
Atlanta.
Oh, wait a minute. Janelle says she saw that one coming. Oh my gosh. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, prayers to cover the entire tri-state area. That includes Jersey and Connecticut too.
I mean, hey, your former state there, y'all had some interesting times. You had the blind governor, which I thought was awesome. I love that dude. That dude was great. I always wanted him to do like a Stevie Wonder impression while he was up there. And then you had the Cuomo brother. Woo, boy, the one that wasn't on TV when they had the nipple rings, you had him, and now you got more people dropping out. Oh boy. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's hard for us to compete. We try.
No, we're not trying to compete. So we're gonna go to another city. Atlanta. However, this particular season is not shot in Atlanta. Now you making me laugh over here. It wasn't shot in Atlanta. It was actually shot in a different country altogether, right?
Oh, let's just talk about these episodes, okay? There have been 4 so far. Each one of them kind of seemingly tries to top the other. First, let's separate 2 things. We're gonna first talk about Atlanta, the episodes, the TV show, and then we can talk about Mr. Donald Glover because he has been in the news himself this past week, and he kind of deserves a little bit of attention on his own. So, Atlanta, fire. This is the craziest thing that I have seen on television in decades. No. And I am old, and I watched a lot of television. Probably
Don't
too
say
much.
you're old.
I am.
Old.
No. I want my stripes here. I want my badges here. Okay, because I remember Norman Mailer in those early Norman Mailer '70s shows that like kind of broke the mode of what television was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
This show is surreal. And it is amazing. And if you are missing it, you are doing yourself a disservice. Atlanta is like nothing else on television. So the first episode, Val, did you see the first episode?
So let me do this. So who you see in the picture right here? You have Donald Glover. You have Brian T. Henry. You have Lakeith Stanfield and
Zazie.
Zazie.
Yeah.
Who I'm recognizing now, and I'm recognizing her from The Harder They Fall. She did a great job in The Harder They Fall. I'm just saying her and Lakeith were in The Harder They Fall, but I decided I got Hulu and I started watching the first episode, and then I kept going until there were no more episodes because I kind of sat there. I thought it was a comedy, but then I had my mouth open for like
who told you that?
a lot of the first episode of the season. Like,
so the first episode is entitled Three Slaps. Now, here's the deal with it. Okay, so it focuses in on a young black kid in Atlanta. So the first episode is in Atlanta. They set it in Atlanta, and here's a kid who is just kind of showing out, kind of disruptive. He's celebrating tickets to his class to go see Black Panther 2, the sequel to Black Panther, which is just takes you into the Atlanta world right there. So he does a celebration where he gets on the desk and dances. Where I think if you follow social media, you remember when a kid actually did this and it went viral. So they sample that kind of idea. But really, the whole episode is based on this tragic real life crime story about a couple, a young white couple who adopt Black children and seemingly put them to work to make money, pretty much to have what they call a family. Except none of the children are getting anything out of this. It is the terrible situation for them. And if any of you actually remember this story, it ends up with a van going off the side of a bridge into a river. That's what actually happens. So in this episode, Donald Glover does the same thing that Quentin Tarantino has been able to do in his last couple of movies, which is take reality, give you a sense of reality, and then seemingly right the wrongs that in the real life case and make it much better. So the episode turns out a lot better than what actually happened to those poor children, and gives you kind of a slice into it. Donald Glover is slicing white people up into little itty bitty pieces this season. I don't know what got into him. Maybe he didn't like the criticism that the Umar gave him on Twitter, or what it was, but he is like coming full guns blazing.
Guns are ablaze. Guns are ablaze. And if you guys remember, if you guys remember, in 2019, Donald released as Childish Gambino was This Is America. You remember that video, right?
Don't catch you slipping up. No. Oh my goodness.
You remember that video. And I think to date, that has had almost 1 billion streams because of what? Huh?
You better tell somebody.
So my thing is, if he gunned for as many ideas and people as he did in that video, this season is just gonna be, oh boy. And there's so much. It's every episode. It's heavily
relentless.
It's heavily packed. And this is, what is it? Only like 26, maybe 30 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, it kind of dances closer to 40 at times. I think the first episode is a little bit longer than the ones that have gone since then, but it's around 40. Oh my goodness! So even skip the Amsterdam. Oh love. Oh my God, my boy Lakeith.
When he says that line, this town is like my Jesus, I thought I was going to lose it. I was like, what is going on? How high are you?
I wonder, like, if there's some method acting going on there, because it seems like, whoo boy, oh my goodness. So the premise is that Paperboy is on a European tour, and the character played by Donald Glover, Ern is his manager. So he takes Paperboy, he takes even Van, his ex, comes with them on this trip, They go to places like Amsterdam. They go to throughout Europe, and they're on tour. So he is able to not only skewer white Americans in our culture in this country, but he is taking pot shots at folks in other countries. He goes after Santa Claus, which some of y'all know what I'm talking about. The tradition of the of Black Peter, the blackface helper to Santa Claus in Europe.
I thought the concert scene. He was like, "I'm not playing here," and I was like,
"Bro, I ain't playing that."
I'm like, "Why is he not doing that?" Then they show and the music choices for these 4 episodes, brilliant.
It is brilliant. Yeah. Now the last one, we'll skip the old man in the tree, which is a great episode. But you can see it on your own. We'll leave that one alone. Enjoy that. We don't want to spoil it for you. Except it made me want to go get some Peruvian chicken. And Val, those places are in Chicago. They're Nando's in Chicago. I really probably before I see the next episode, I'm gonna hit one up because I gotta eat that. I gotta try it. I'm gonna eat it while I watch the episode. That's
exactly.
But this last one is called The Big Payback, and that's another one. If you all haven't seen this, you gotta check this out. So the premise is really simple. It's based off of a Radio Lab episode and reporting at the very beginning. The idea is this: what if, instead of talking about all this nonsense like CRT, that things that don't exist, and all these like scary things that people do for political reasons, what if we really had actual reparations?
Wait, speak up.
What if there were actual reparations and you could use something like Ancestry and figured out who owns your ancestors, and then go to them and say, just like you would sue anybody and say, hey, you owe me $3 million.
I was thinking, wow, what a concept. Then I heard the Keith Sweat Make It Last Forever.
Oh, yeah, like, that's brilliant.
What was up with the song choices? What's going on?
That was because they were having a cookout at his house.
Well, I'm just hearing Keith Sweat Make It Last Forever. I'm like, did he pick that song on purpose? Yes, he did. Yes,
absolutely. And the other part of it that I have to mention is that the idea of this, it's not like this person came up with an idea or the team behind Atlanta came up with something that nobody ever thought of. Like, I mean, we saw this with Dave Chappelle, and Chappelle Show did a similar skit years ago about that. That's the whole, like, I'm rich. I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, what did you do? You bought a truck? You're a truck driver? Like, no, man, I bought cigarettes for life. I got a whole truck of menthol. So so it is brilliant in the fact that instead of doing that idea as comedy, they took it on as like drama, like what would really happen, not to Black people, how Black people would change if there was actual reparations in America. How would white people change? How would they be affected by it? Which is like brilliant. That goes back to Toni Morrison. Where Toni Morrison, the great writer, talked about racism not being Black people's problem, but being white people's problem. Something that white people needed to deal with, figure out how to deal with one day if they were ever going to move forward in society. And I think that is where we are with Atlanta. Atlanta is great. Now, Donald Glover. Bruh.
Yeah, so what is up with Donald Glover?
Mr. Glover is hitting his Kanye West kind of status now. He's starting to drift into that area. So recently there's an interview with Donald Glover in Interview Magazine. Now, Val, who do you think they got to interview Donald Glover?
Oh, I was gonna say Alan Light, but not him. I forget who.
Oh, that would have been an inspired choice. No, not Alan Light. maybe one more guess. One more guess, and I'll tell you right quick.
It would be oh, the guy that used to was it Kevin? Kevin. He was in the first episode of the Real World. Kevin.
No, they didn't. But he is still out there. He does writing workshops, which I'm going to join one very soon, next week actually. No. So Donald Glover interviews himself in interviews.
He does?
Yes. So it is some kind of like meta masturbatory exercise of him talking to himself and asking himself semi-provocative questions that he kind of sort of answers but sort of doesn't. But it is I mean, in one way it's interesting, in another way it is completely bloated, full of hot air. He asked himself at one point like if he dislikes black women or he has a problem with black women, which kind of goes back to the whole idea of Donald Glover, the person. The fact that there was a comment by Dr. Umar. I don't think if you remember this, but he talked about the Childish Gambino, This Is America.
Yeah.
And had all these images in it. And then Dr. Umar said, well, but it doesn't really matter because he's married to a white woman. So we don't have to take him seriously.
What in the world? Why would we say that?
Because some people believe that, and they do. So Donald Glover at times has been accused of being that black nerd, that black kind of like geeky nerd, comic book, anime loving dude that has a problem with black women and like, well, they don't like me and I have to, so he's been put in that category before. Now he brings it up in his own interview asking himself, but he doesn't really answer the question. So Black Twitter has taken him and just ripped him into little shreds the same way he rips white people into little shreds on
Atlanta.
Yeah, so it is interesting. This is a criticism he's had for a while. In his past, before creating the show, he's said some interesting and slightly problematic things, but many comedians, because he used to do stand-up comedy, they would get themselves into trouble, and probably if he said some of those things now, he'd be in more trouble. But he is instead creating this like masterpiece, and I, for one, can separate the person from the art, and the art is amazing. It is unlike anything else that we see on TV. What are your thoughts? I know that you like it was a comedy, and you watched these 4 episodes, and I mean, you probably laughed a bunch, but I don't know in what places you laughed.
Not a lot. I didn't laugh. Not a lot. I was just kind of scratching my head, like, and just great actors that were chosen, and just kind of trying to figure out what was going on with Van. She, the tree episode, she's pushing people into the indoor pool. I didn't understand that. I'm like, she just, just it was weird moments when it was funny. And then like music choices, there's a song, there's a place where Tupac is played, and I'm just kind of like, and then you see someone dinging something, and I'm like, I'm gonna ask the chat, have you watched Atlanta? Atlanta premiered its 3rd season on March 24th, and it was supposed to get going January 2021, but because unfortunately due to COVID and then other things like that, everything got delayed and pushed back. So now they are currently, according to the FX Network's chairman, John Landgraf, they are filming 3 and 4 simultaneously together, and they're being filmed back to back. So it is, it's going to be 10 episodes. I'm catching up on Hulu. So guys, if you want to see what we're talking about, because so many societal ills and things are being dealt with. I thought I was going to lose it on the blackface. The second episode, it was just littered with so much references. It was
When the buzzer goes off over the bed.
Oh yeah. That is just, you have to see it in order for us. We're not doing it justice because we don't want to give too much away without you watching it. And the funny thing is that you can enjoy this season independent of seeing season 2. I would suggest you go back and watch season 2 so you'll understand the relationship between Donald Glover's character and Ern. So you can kind of understand their situation, and then kind of the recommitment toward the end of the second season for because there's a cousins relationship in there, and he signed on. Donald Glover's character is signed on to be the manager, and then something happens where it's like, no, I trust you and you're going to be my manager, and they're going overseas. And so when you manage a music artist, Paperboy, he's very temperamental. You never know when he might just go off on a tangent. You never know. So excellent actors. I'm excited for this season, Michael. Let you guys know Atlanta is currently on FX, releasing a new episode every Friday. And you can catch
every Thursday.
Every Thursday and on every Friday. If you missed it on Thursday on the original broadcast on FX, you can catch it on Hulu. Now, some wonderful things happened over the weekend, and we finally, you want to say it? Here comes the judge. Here comes the judge. Here comes the judge.
All right.
And when you've made an impact where they do a parody of you on SNL, you've made it.
Yeah, ego. There go my ego had her for sure. Right.
Yeah. So what do you think, man? This is major stuff.
History in the making, and certainly major. I mean, in the history of our court, soon to be Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson will take her place on the Supreme Court when the court goes back into session for the upcoming year. She is someone who, like many people of color up for significant posts, is overly qualified. Someone that probably should have been there years ago. And she has taken the route to be very humble and welcoming, and been able to take a lot of negativity on her way to a place that she more than deserves to be. So I am immensely proud of her. There's one picture, I know that people have seen it in social media, where one of her daughters is looking at her as she is testifying, and the look that young woman gives her mother, I think, says so much. That moment, and the moment when our vice president embraced the incoming justice, that too just really moved me. Because if anybody understands what it is and what it took for Justice Brown Jackson to be there, it would be Vice President Kamala Harris. I mean, that's a real small club, okay? and there she is with the president back there in his aviators, looking on. I don't know. Those are glasses. Oh, Joe. So this is a moment of immense pride. It marks a great change, and it gives us kind of hope for the future. She is a young woman, and you know, health permitting, and our thoughts and prayers once again. She will be on that court for many decades to come. So you know, that's a masterful thing. Oh, hello, great person. Hello, Mr. Lee. Good evening. Good evening. Yeah. So I mean, this is a significant thing. Val, did you get to watch some of these proceedings, some of this welcome and the addresses? What did you think?
I was very impressed. I'm very happy that she quoted from a Maya Angelou poem, and I saw people getting emotional, and it was good to hear the account from the lady who hosts one of the co-hosts of The View. She took off that Friday to actually attend, and I was thinking, oh, that's wonderful. And she kind of talked about how she was trying to hold back her tears, but then then she just then she finally let go. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, see, that is it's very similar to when Jesse Jackson was looking on to Barack Obama when he was getting ready to make his first speech as a president elect back in 2008. Am I correct with that? 2008.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of seeing the tears of pride well up in Reverend Jackson's eyes, because he had a run in, what was it, 1984 for president? No, 1988 for president, and it didn't happen. And so this was a major thing. And some people will say, well, why is it such a big deal for someone like Ketanji to be a justice? Because ultimately, representation matters. When you see someone in that type of position, it tells you, it gives you a sense of hope that you can achieve any and all dreams that you put your mind to. And Tanji is probably only a year or two older than me, but still, just in to have the blessing of seeing, number one, the first Black president, number two, a woman become a vice president, and to see, and it took a mere 200 plus years for this to happen. A judge, of a woman of color, a Black judge, to make it to this. And things are still going to be conservative. I think it's still, the count is what, 6-3, right? With the conservatism, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
it's not. This is not a shift. This is about
no,
representation. It's
right,
about being in the room. You
right.
gotta be there. You
Yeah.
gotta be in that room where these decisions are being made. That
Mhm.
way, you know that your voice is being heard. When you consider that it's not just about the fact that she is a woman, it's about the fact that she is a Black woman. There have been women there on the Supreme Court since former President Ronald Reagan brought in Justice Sandra Day O'Connor. So
Mhm.
you've had Sandra Day O'Connor, you had Justice Elaine Kagan, Justice Ruth
Mhm.
Bader Ginsburg, um, Justice Sonia Sotomayor. You
That's right.
had women there, but you needed a sister there
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
definitely.
just repping, and just had
Oh yeah.
such an impeccable record. She had such an impeccable record.
Well, I mean, and
And
once again, we can't just be qualified. We have to be overly qualified to get some of these positions. You can't just do, you can't be mediocre like
can't be
like the last
basic.
dude. You know, they were joking that one of the last justices on, like, he was all happy to celebrate because he really loves to drink. So
Oh, ouch. Yeah.
he
So
well, so we can't do that now. We can't do that, right?
no.
We can't be
Mm-mm.
mediocre in a sin. We have to
Mm-mm.
be like twice as good, at least twice as good, if not three times. The people that and the qualifications that others have, just to get in, just to get in the room, just to get in the room.
So we can have those conversations and be heard and be represented. And
To be
that's what's, and
represented.
oh my gosh, I'm so good. Could you put that comment up that I see? Let me see what that is. That's Wendell. Wendell, saying that Cory Booker affirmed her beautifully during that brutal session. Yeah, yes,
Yes.
Wendell. That was so brutal. It made me cringe. I was cringing for
Chin
Katani. I
checking.
was like, and she took it, man. She took it like a champ. Like, I
Hey,
mean,
hey, when he says chin checking these senators, let me just remind y'all, okay. So since the vice president left the Senate, that changed the dynamic of the Senate. There are two African American senators of the 100. There are two. Senator Cory Booker from New Jersey, who voted to confirm her, and the other senator, Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, who voted against her.
Yeah, I was trying to understand his vote.
He is a conservative Republican, and he is that before he is anything else, apparently.
I got nothing good to say. We're gonna keep it moving. Okay.
It's history. But the thing is, this is history. So he's going to be recorded as in history as going against and voting against the first African American woman onto the Supreme Court. So that'll be part of his legacy. So when that young person transitions, that'll be one of the first two lines in his obituary. And I think he should have thought that through.
Michael, 2 words. He didn't. That's all I got. That's all I got.
I'll be remembered for this forever. Uh-oh.
So I mean, come on, guys. Come on. You sound like that. You sound like that Kanye song. Oh my gosh. Woo. Well, you know what? I was looking for Coach. I don't know where he's at. Were you looking for him?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he may be en route to the playoffs. I know the playoffs are going to be starting soon. The NBA playoffs. That was one of the things that we'll probably touch upon, maybe briefly tonight. We'd love to do it more with Coach Tony here, but that's something that we certainly can talk about. Oh, and there they are, my sacrificial lambs.
Wait a minute. Why they got to be sacrificial?
They will be offered up for, I don't know, the sins of Mayor Lightfoot. I have no idea. But the scheduling for the NBA playoffs puts my Chicago Bulls against the defending champion Milwaukee Bucks. And even the most optimistic look at that series is that the Bucks will sweep them. The question is by how much.
Oh, okay? No.
And I'm not sure. I still, if I don't get in touch with Coach Tony, I may have to get him a text because I know that's going to happen, and I don't think there's any way to profit off of that with FanDuel for entertainment purposes only, because they are going to get ripped. It's not even going to be close.
I hope it'll be the playoffs. Can there at least be a fight? Can it be that they
wait? You talking about the NBA?
I'm talking about the NBA.
Be careful. What kind of fight are you talking about?
Oh, nothing. I'm referring
you mean
to
competitive
competitive with the jump shot. Right.
We don't need a Malice in the Palace too. Okay, we don't need that. Not that. No, Val. It's not. I mean, do you have it? Do you get it? Did you get it? What you got?
No. I was supposed to have a hat. And you know what? I'm glad Bruce is mentioning this. He says Brooklyn won the play in the night, so it's them against the Celtics. Okay, and ironically, and this will be my last mention about this. The Barclays Center, literally down the street from the goofy shooting that just happened. So
I'm sure they mentioned it tonight.
They had to have mentioned it. Tonight. Yeah, but anyway,
for one night the focus wasn't on Kyrie, so that's
no. So this was a long time ago.
Oh yeah. There we go. 5 times. Once upon a time when the Bulls were relevant. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean they made a whole documentary on that, right? Oh my goodness.
Yes, they did.
The Last Dance. Apparently that Last Dance is going to stretch out a little bit farther since we got to go against the Greek Freak and the Bucks. Oh, So Bruce
Yes.
mentioned Brooklyn. What a dangerous team. That team,
Ooh,
the only
Celtics.
way that Brooklyn, the Nets,
Okay.
the team in New York that actually makes the playoffs. So that team, Brooklyn, my goodness, they could win it all, and they had to get in as a play-in because of just the ridiculousness. Now that new mayor of yours out in New York, he made it a little bit easier on Kyrie playing there. So I think if they do win something, they got to give him a little bit of credit. He kind of fixed the De Blasio nonsense and got the man on the court at least. So Brooklyn has a good chance of playing a meeting. I think they can meet the Bucks in the finals. It depends on how the rounds are set up. That's more Coach Tony's set there. Yeah, she did. She went back with that shirt, that T-shirt when we used to have celebrations every year at Grand Park. Woo! When the Bulls would win. Oh my, that was the time. Hey Val, do you remember when the Bulls were winning? They were really good with MJ. Yeah. So yeah, no more. I think that we are going to see some good NBA playoffs. I'll just let you know. I think some of the teams that are coming in, some of the matchups that you're going to see. If you don't see it early, eventually you'll see the Suns and the Warriors come back. Curry hopefully will be ready to go. There are going to be some good games. There's going to be some great games coming up in the playoffs. Today, my team had their home opener. So the other thing going on beyond the NBA is
Sucks.
that's right, Major League Baseball. It's really too early to see anything or know anything. My team's in first place. We'll see how long that lasts. Um, a lot of the traditional powerhouses are just getting started. They're trying to make up for that foolishness of having a strike during their time. They usually use to like warm up and get ready for the season. So there are all kinds of weird people on the injured reserve list on a lot of the teams. Oh yes, 3 in a row, definitely.
All right, Bruce.
We are on the win streak. We won that home opener barely. Man, I thought they were going to give it up. I thought they were going to give up that game at the end. I really thought they were going to give up the game in the end. And Luis Robert is making an early pitch for MVP. I think he is. I mean, if he keeps up as this, because we saw flashes as Sox fans a couple years ago, he is a what they call a four-tool player. He can do everything. Of course, out in California, they have a pitcher, designated hitter, Otani, who could do everything too, literally pitch and do everything. So it's kind of hard talking about anybody else as an MVP candidate. Shahu Otani out in Los Angeles with the Angels, but I think baseball is back, and I think they were smart in making sure that they got rid of that strike talk and nonsense, and they're actually out there playing. Fans are loving it. We missed the game. Yes, Otani. Oh my.
Good player, right?
Yeah, good player. Player coming in from Japan. Val. So he not only is the best, probably maybe the best hitter on his team. You still have Trout there. He might be the best hitter on his team. He is definitely the best pitcher on his team. And usually those things don't go together. But he is one of those like once in a generation type players. For the White Sox opener, they had Bo Jackson, who was threw out the first pitch. He is somebody that is like a Bo Jackson. He is someone who is just amazing with everything that he sets his mind to. So baseball looking good. Baseball's looking good. Basketball's looking nice. I think we're in a good place. So between that and episodes of Atlanta every week, there are like some other treats that are coming out there. Speaking of basketball, there's basketball on HBO now. It's not my Bulls. It's the other dynasty team that has so many fans. Val, have you been checking out Winning Time?
I have, and I've been pleasantly surprised. I think the actors are doing such a great job with portraying this time. I love the graininess of the film and just kind of looking at how possibly things look back in the late 70s, early 80s with the Los Angeles Forum. And I am excited to see. I think the episodes are, what are we, about 3 or 4 episodes in? That's what I feel
Yes.
like. They're about 3 or 4 episodes in. So this is on HBO Max. It's called Winning Time. So it's a good. Now this is because it's on HBO Max. This is not for everyone. This is for our adult basketball fans who remember things back in the day. The start of the dynasty creation of the Lakers, and definitely I'm enjoying it. Michael, you're enjoying it as well, right?
Yeah, because it's also telling the formation of the NBA, where the NBA
Yeah.
moves from being a sport that had to be tape delayed and would run on the weekends, like weekday games would run on the weekends on CBS, like after like bowling, or skiing, cross country skiing. And it's like, oh, we'll put the NBA on here, to being the premier sport and league that it is today. Magic Johnson and the Lakers, Kareem, uh, you know, my
Norm Nixon.
goodness. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, those Lakers, that Laker team put the
Mhm.
NBA on the map. I think it's at least if you're a Lakers fan, you can at least enjoy that because you don't have anything to look forward to on the court. Woo! Not good.
Oh gosh. Well, you know what? I hate to wrap us up on a sad note, but I just got some news that unfortunately Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Dwayne Haskins has passed away at 24.
Yes, this happened over the weekend.
Okay.
That was he was a quarterback. He had played more recently for the Redskins. He was kind of moving around. He was a great player at Ohio State. That's really where he made his mark in college. It was a very strange accident involving him trying to cross an interstate in a dump truck. And it's difficult to know what to make of this, except that it is a tremendous loss. And we certainly, our thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family and fans and those people close to him. It certainly is not what you would want to hear for such a young man who had his whole life ahead of him.
Right. Exactly. And for us that remember Gilbert Godfrey, who was been he's been a comedian for decades and loved how he would do his voice inflections.
Oh yes, Gilbert Godfrey voice. Yes.
He did a lot of voiceover work, especially with The Simpsons and a few other well-known series. Unfortunately, he has passed away today at the age of 67. And I remember him appearing on an episode of Living Single, which was hilarious. I just, that he's been on so many different platforms, so many different television shows and movies alike. I'm a fan. I was a fan of his. He was always hilarious. He was in a very pivotal episode of A Different World. If you remember how they opened with the LA riots, and he was the cop. He was like, "Look, you're under arrest." He was yelling that to Dwayne Wayne and telling him to put his hands on top of a convertible, which had no top. So
Yeah, Bruce remembers as well. So you
yeah,
all have this great memory of him. I have a great memory of him too, which I
what you
will
got?
edit for us. Uh, there was a celebrity roast that happened right after 9/11, and
Okay.
it was around the time when people were quite sad, weren't sure whether or not to laugh, what to do. And Gilbert Godfrey fearlessly got on Comedy Central stage and told the entire aristocrats joke, to the amazement and bewilderment of the audience, in which he at first he just stepped out started it, and then they were all with him at the end, and it was a tremendous kind of moment for people to kind of let go, release, breathe, and know that they could move forward. So in that spirit, I will now tell the aristocrats, Joe. So there, oh no, look, I don't think we have time.
I don't think we have time. I'm so sorry, Michael. We gotta wrap it up.
It was a family, and okay.
But maybe you can tell it tomorrow when it's Wamble time. Oh my gosh, Michael. It'll be Wamble time tomorrow. You'll be live at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, and chatting about stuff. And we want to thank you guys. Never miss an episode of Talk on Tuesdays. I mean, we're here, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are now over 150 subscribers. Thank you so very, very much.
Woo, woo.
It's exciting. It's exciting. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Exciting.
And so I would love to say today's Talk on Tuesday is brought to you by Booked and Busy Bookkeeping Services, LLC, dedicated to keeping you booked while you're busy running your business. Allow the years that they have to give you what you need, the small business owner, financial peace of mind, and contact them at 862-251-8503 or go to bookedandbusybookkeeping.com. If you want to know a little bit more about the young lady, her name is Janelle Polite. I'm probably saying her name wrong. She's going to shoot me. She was here. She was just in the chat earlier tonight.
Is she single?
She's married with
children.
People want to know.
I mean, people want to know that. I'm just speaking for the people.
Hippolyte.
Hippolyte?
Yes. Hippolyte. Thank you.
Girl, Janelle, I can say your name.
Thank you. I'm going to have you say her name. Thank you. And tomorrow's episode.
Say your name.
She will be featured on our episode that will be dropping tomorrow on Wednesday called Being Booked and Busy. And also giving some tax advice because we know taxes are not due Friday because it's Good Friday. They're going to be due. When is this? They'll be due on Monday. Is that correct?
Monday, April 18th. Yeah. So I can book her?
Yes. If you're busy and if you need a bookkeeper and someone to help you with your taxes, she is the person for you.
I do, actually. I'm trying to avoid that jail time.
And I don't know what happened to Coach. I think Coach was still coaching a game, so that's what happened with him. But you know what? We did our sports thing, so we were doing our thing. So Michael, what's your name?
My name is not Val the Voice Johnson, but your name is, and this has been Interludes Extra Talk on Tuesday with Val the Voice Johnson.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining us on this Tuesday and Holy Week. Have a wonderful and blessed evening, and we'll see you all next week. Peace.